What's going on, America? Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I'm your host, John Burk, with my beautiful heterosexual bearded life partner here, Josh, operating those controls.
Yeah,
just like the pro that he is. My gosh.
Thanks, buddy.
Are you growing your stash out?
You like it?
I do. No, I genuinely do.
Looks good.
You've got the handlebar thing going on.
I do.
I dig it. What has the wife said?
She likes it.
I dig it. You look good with it. I was going for the same thing, but not with the handle, but like the out. But I like the undergrowth. Like grow the stash out and then grow the undergrowth. It's like a Western kind of. But there is something to be said. I do have to say,
a little tombstone-ish.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like, that definitely, I think anything in regards to facial hair, clothing, whatever, you can pull off what you're confident in pulling off. Mm-hmm. If you are confident in the fact that you know you look good, you like the way you look, that's how trendsetters exist. That's why trendsetters exist. But it's funny because I had a buddy of mine who told me, he's like, you look like you're dressing nice. He's like, I like that. I was like, yeah. Tyler, other people's like, yeah, I noticed like you're wearing nicer clothes. And it's like, it's not for like some type of virtue signal in regards to like money or anything. I just enjoy looking nice in a sense of like, and I attribute it back to my military days. Like for those that don't know, the older uniforms, we call them BDUs. They were the green and brown ones, the old school ones. And our standards were when you were at the barracks, like when you had barracks formations versus if you were training in the field, you would have very nice uniforms. Your uniform would be starched and pressed. You would use starch, especially on the back crease of the arm and the creases in the front and back of the legs. So you would spend hours ironing your stuff and shining your boots. It was literally boot polish that you would just rub and rub and rub until you learn the tricks of how to make yourself sparkle on that. But you put your beret on and you put that uniform and you walk out and you feel and you look like a professional. And so there's something that I started thinking about that I looked around in society, and you look at a lot of men these days and they don't take any pride in their appearance. It's just a slacktivist mindset of, I'll wear, like I could never wear my pajamas to Walmart. Yeah. Granted, Walmart is not like the creme de la creme of shopping, but even still, I would never go in like my night clothes. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I have standards.
To straighten out my t-shirt now.
That's different. You know what I'm talking about. But it's just that people for some reason have been programmed to think that there's something wrong with you wanting to look nice, or as if it's you just trying to showcase you have money. It's like, no, I will rock a $150 vest from Men's Warehouse on top of a $10 Walmart button-up that looks good. It doesn't matter. It's all about, like for me, it's fashion, but it's also a care of appearance. And that also translates into your fitness, into everything. So look, there is nothing wrong with taking pride in how you appear, because it will blend over into how you think, how you talk, and then how you work. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that we should, as individuals, take more pride in ourselves and how we look and how we feel and things like that. Because my God, this lazy mentality, you've seen it. Yeah. I could go on a rant on this, like people that show up for these job interviews, these young kids, like one kid in cargo pants and shorts, or cargo shorts and sandals. And I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind.
All right.
Yeah, so clearly you're telling me you don't take this seriously. Like, I remember growing up, when I went to any job interview, and the very few that I had, it was at least at minimum a collared shirt and church dress shoes with some nice slacks, at minimum. I don't care. Like, I went to, when I worked at that train car company place where we welded train cars and did decals and stuff, I remember to this day, this is any train yard, folks. Okay, their work outfits were jeans, steel toe boots, hard hats, and a long sleeve t-shirt and covered in fucking grease. But I went to the interview in a suit. I walked in there in a suit, nothing extraordinary or debonair, but it was just a standard suit from Walmart that my mom had bought me, because I go in there wanting to come respectful. Mm-hmm. But we don't see that these days. And like, my God, like I said, when these kids walk in for these interviews, it's just this lackadaisical, and it's like, so clearly, and half of them, I can't even blame them. They were probably brought up by lazy-ass parents. They were probably brought up by just worthless parents that didn't really make it very far in life because they don't care about the small things and the disciplinary things. And then you have this byproduct that's just shit with sandals. It's like, well, I see why you are the way you are. Partially, I don't blame you, but you are the age of accountability that you should know better. But how should they know better if they've never been taught?
Yeah.
So
my son tried to go to church and just like
hell no,
wear.
Hell no.
Like,
you see,
try again, buddy.
That's the other thing. I posted a video on Instagram where that Christian pastor said, God is gay. God is non-binary. Number one, God isn't even sexual. He has no need for sexuality or even the reproduction. So what are you talking about? But number two, it shows in contemporary Christianity that our modern day preachers are just cowards with Bibles. They are You refuse to embrace any doctrinal devotional teaching to come and correct the flock. The pastor is not there to make you feel good. Granted, the word of God should, but that pastor, I'm not sitting there fire and brimstone. I'm not saying that. But if that pastor intentionally ducks and avoids contemporary issues such as the LGBT infiltrating the church, oh, hell no. No, I'm sorry. God does not condone homosexuality. And you homosexuals out there that I've had these debates with, you will try and twist God's word to fit your... Jesus loved everybody. No, he didn't. He said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. But people don't want to address these issues. So yes, to go back to that, these modern day churches where these people, wear whatever you want. No, if you go into a sanctuary that is dedicated to God, blessed and given to God, you do not go in there half-assed. You go in there with reverence and respect. You wear the best you've got because he gave it to you. It's in respect. But we've lost that as a society. We have lost all of that. So like the few churches I have gone to, and I normally don't like going to church because I feel like a lot of it's just they're liars and grifters, quite honestly. But when I go in there and I look and I see a pastor that allows that in his congregation, I have no respect for that pastor because you don't care about essentially being respectful towards the Creator. You just don't. That's just the way I see it. Now, I think because people want to water down Christianity to spare feelings to get more people to come to God, but you're getting people to come to the wrong God. They're not coming to the God of the Bible. They're not coming to the God of Abraham and Isaac and Moses. They're coming to your contemporary made-up spaghetti monster in the sky God that loves everybody equally and don't judge. I thought Christians judge the most, as should they. What fellowship has light with darkness? The only way to differentiate between the two is by their fruits you know them according to Christ, and therefore you have to judge. Now, judging with the intent of looking down your nose versus judging with the intent of separating yourself from those that are not Christ-like, I completely agree with. But I think that it's just so misunderstood by modern-day atheists and non-believers that they try and use these terms so out of context, they don't even really know what they're talking about. But, yeah, don't go to church. Don't wear flip-flops to church, you lazy shitheads.
Let me tell you one more thing.
Let me tell you one more thing. I'm just tell you this. No, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, when I see people going into church dressed just sloppy, that's because the preacher tolerates it. The deacons have no backbones. And it's like, no, I don't respect that church.
I think how the pastor dresses.
He's the leader. 100%.
Yeah, I like the old school. Like get up there, wear a suit and tie.
Yes, you're before God.
You know, it doesn't need to be like.
I'm not saying like in there like
t-shirt, jeans, like real.
Yeah. I dated this one girl. She was a model. We went to a church out in California. She wanted me to go, and she wears the most skin tight, revealing outfit. And she's walking out to go. I'm just kind of like, are you trying to make people sin in there? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, that is so inappropriate. You got your tits hanging out, your butt. I can see your thong. You think this is like what God wants to see you do?
Your camel toe is showing.
I mean, if you want me to take you back to the back room and bend you over and then the house, absolutely. But when you're going to church, that's different. And I found myself getting away from that, from how I dressed, how I held myself. And I was like, man, this is not the person that I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to be prideful in myself and my appearance, not for the sake of like looking down my nose, which I do to people because I love trolling people. It's just so much fun. But it's a sense of self-worth. When we talk about loving ourselves, when you say that you should love yourself to hold yourself to a higher standard than what society provides for you. And right now, folks, all you have to do is look around and you'll see the societal morality or morality-based standards, they're not existent. Even to this day, like when I'm in tango class sometimes, and there's nothing wrong, but even I have some issues sometimes showing PDA. I will kiss, I will stuff like, but it comes with a little, not in front of people. This is not like a peck on the cheek, on the lips, a hug. I get it. But some people don't get that. And you see like these teenagers that are making out in malls, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like your father should be in here with a belt just going to town like Jesus with the freaking whips and the money changers. Like go to town on that ass. But that's where we've devolved into as a society. And so, I was just thinking about that these last few days when people are kind of like, you look nice. Like, yeah, I should always look nice. I should make an attempt to look nice. And I'm not sitting there saying that you have to go out and buy $500 suits because I know all the people out there, well, I can't afford. Then you dress with what the best you've got is because God knows. I remember in church, same thing. People are like, well, I can't afford a suit. Then, bro, you bust out your nicest pair of blue jeans and your nicest T-shirt and you make an effort. You at least try. With the best you've got. God knows. He recognizes your sacrifices. He understands. He's not saying you have to have it, but he knows what your capabilities are, and he knows what your limits are as well. So you're not fooling anybody. All right, past the collection plate. Let's take some tithes and donations for that little sermon I just gave you. I'm just saying. Well, this episode is brought to you by ShellShockCBD.com. Make sure you go check us out. We appreciate all the love and support. We've got the Rack Out gummies that are going to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. We've got the Halo Delta 8, Delta 9. We've got CBD oil. We've got the Topical Thunder that we're increasing sales on that. People are really loving that. The Topical Thunder.
It's really good stuff. I'm telling you, I've heard great reviews.
Yeah.
My mom gave it to all these women that work in her clinic.
Yeah.
Up in Ohio.
The older crowd's loving it because it's definitely helping with like
their
hand arthritis. Yeah.
It's their sciatica. So they just rave about the sleep that they're able to get because their back pain is gone.
I saw the lady in the Shell Shock DMs on Instagram talking about how she wanted to get it for her sister as well, who has arthritis or something like that. And I was just kind of like, yeah. It's like, we're not surprised to hear these testimonies anymore. Before, it was kind of like, oh, we're so glad. I was like, yeah, we've been telling you this for years, guys.
I love it, man.
It's there. It's right here. If you want better quality sleep, you want some pain management, we've got you right here. All I ask is you trust me enough to give me your business one time. If it doesn't work, we'll refund your money. Pretty simple. But you got to send the product back now because I'm not going to take advantage of like that. Oh, you fucked me in the ass once. Shame on me. Fuck me in the ass twice. I'm probably gay.
I might like it.
Now, I'm just saying, give us a chance. Okay. That's all I'm asking. I am that confident, folks. So I have to be honest, like how many of these CBD companies, you can answer me honestly on this, on their gummies and stuff like that. How many offer a money back guarantee? Off the top. Jilliver said, tried the lube and it's so slick I couldn't even get a grip on that ass. Oh my God, could you please leave that as a review on Google? Oh my God, that is the greatest ever. I love that. That's the best. I couldn't even get a grip on that ass. That's great.
It's good stuff.
I got to use that for an advertisement. It's like, I couldn't even grip that ass.
You just captured lightning in a bottle, my friend.
It's great. The lube is great, folks. It's unscented. We can do scented if people want. But yeah, we want to start with unscented, see what people thought. It's selling great. The lubricant is there. Even if you don't require it, it's still a great sensation. So give it a shot. Check it out. Again, ShellShockCBD.com. Code SAVAGE is going to save you some money. Got a new show episode coming out very soon. Excited for this. Our first official sponsor of the podcast. Contracts are signed, waiting on payment to be made. We're going into it, baby. We're going into it. And we're proud. It's a gold company. We're excited for this, honestly. Because I do feel like investments and things like that and this stuff, excuse me, is definitely worthwhile. Matter of fact, like I told you, I got that, if you're a veteran, you remember the thrift savings plan they made us do? I got some paperwork back on that the other day. And they were like, oh, your account, blah, blah. I got like $3,500 in that account I forgot about. And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I need to go get that. Or I was like talking to Josh, maybe the chat can help me out on this one. I'm kind of like, should I continue investing? But I don't think it works because I'm no longer with the government. And the government was supposed to match my contribution. So if I'm not with the government anymore, so I can't, so I should just pull the money out, I guess.
Even as a veteran?
I don't know. I've never dealt with the military's version of a thrift savings plan. Maybe I should get somebody that knows what they're talking about, because that way I'm sure there's other people that probably have the same question of, can I continue my thrift savings plan outside of the military? So Aaron says, ugh, sponsors. Well, you don't pay, so someone's got to. You think Josh and I want to do this for free the rest of our lives? Hell no. I'd like some compensation for all the mental stress I put myself through to entertain you ungrateful peasants. Fuck's sakes. I mean, what's wrong with being sponsored? Hell, half the podcasters that reach out to me are like, well, Shell Shock sponsor us. Yeah. I get it. You want to be paid for your work because that work is incentivization to continue doing said work. It's true. Money is an insanely good driving force. And there's nothing wrong with that because that money is spent on whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
You think you're going to continue putting yourself, well, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. I'm Alec Baldwin, but still, like, I think passion and conviction have gotten you and I to where we're at now because we love doing this. We have not been paid for this for the longest time. Like, we've never had show sponsors. I've always given free shout outs to veteran companies. Yeah. We've never had paid sponsors. We only sponsor Shell Shock. But when a sponsor wants to come in and say they got a good product and they say, we want to pay to be on your show, it's like, okay, fair enough. Absolutely. Like, our work is appreciated. We're building an audience. People appreciate that. You should be paid for your work. But people in this day and age, what I feel is they're so accustomed and acclimated to getting free content, free, because all I have to do is go turn on Ben Shapiro's podcast. I get it for free. And we have no paywalls. We don't charge anybody anything. Mm-hmm. But when people consistently create content and it's not paid for and there's nothing, they're benefiting nothing from it, you're usually going to burn out. Your passion and conviction are only going to last you so long. How do I know this? I've been there. I've done it.
It's that parallel economy.
I agree.
You know, you can't just go to liberal places.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far away. I was just going to say in general. Yeah. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But to me, it's just kind of like, Dude, I'm happy for podcasters that get sponsorship deals. I'm happy for seeing some of these streamers out there that are landing some of these techno deals and stuff like that, these gaming. Good for you. You built an audience. You built a following. I know how difficult that is. And the thing is, the funny part is, I started out not even intentionally meaning to do it. It just kind of popped up, and here you are. These people are actually going after a dream, which is way harder. I just made fun of fat people and got famous. They're actually dedicating themselves to creating very engaging, fun content. They're fucking more passionate about it than I am. I just have it. I'm like, fuck it, I might as well make money with it. I mean, do something with it. Makes sense to me. Do some good and make some money. I mean, that's just the American dream right there, baby. I'm just saying. But anywho, all right, another thing I got to do. I titled this episode John Burk's Rants, and we haven't had episodes in the last 2 days. Josh and I have been swamped. And it's going to continue to be swamped. Folks, if we don't have a show, it's business. There's something coming up that I don't have time. We had meetings. We paid $15,000 for some website upgrades as far as a loyalty program we're implementing very soon, working with a great team over at Yellow Monkey Web Design. They're redoing the website, the entire thing. We're moving it from WooCommerce over to Shopify. It's so much easier. The user interface is cleaner. I want to make it more simplistic for people that don't know anything about CBD to come on that website and get educated, get informed, make good decisions. And then we're having a loyalty program, just like you go to any coffee shop or anything like that, and you have that punch card. But we're giving you points. Points if you leave good reviews. Points if you buy certain products. Points that you can later cash in those points to get free product. Why? Because that's loyalty. So we have, I think our return customer rate is like, what, 63%?
Yeah,
it's up there. It's way really up there. Good. That's really good. Yeah. For those not in the business world, and I didn't know this either until we did side-by-side comparisons, 63, 65%, it's really good.
Yeah.
Return customers. So with that being said, well, they should be rewarded. So the lifetime value of a basic Shell Shock CBD customers comes up to like $2,500 to $3,000 over the period of the lifetime they shop with us. Well, we should be rewarding that. We should invest back into that in a sense of like, not where it's going to break our bank, but they still get something that they didn't normally get had they not been a loyal customer of ours. And we appreciate that. Like I said, we just paid $15,000 for this series or for this technology, this plug into the website. And oh my God, the review process, it's going to get you points. You can leave individual reviews that are going to get you like 25 points added to your cart, stuff like that. And it's going to make it cleaner, way more professional, way faster. So, and I'll take a second and pause and tell you why we're dealing with this. Folks, this is part of business that I wish I would have learned earlier, but in the same token, you do what you can with what you got. Your average website build, it's at least, well, I mean, depending on who you get, we went through about 4 or 5 different web designers working on the same website. So what we got was a cluster of, a rat's nest of wires in the back end of the website. Kind of like what Twitter's dealing with. You unplug one thing and 10 things go wrong because somebody else fucked it up. I've had web designers sit in this very office, lie to my face about what their capabilities were. And then you get a more experienced web designer coming in and saying, oh no, they fucked us all up. Well, when you don't know, you don't know. It's the same as one mechanic telling you a thing about your car's computer, another one saying, no, it's just that your lug nuts are loose on your tire. That's why there's a shake or some shit. You don't know. I mean, well, I would hope, bad comparison, I would hope you'd know if your tires are shaking because of, fair enough. But still, the point being is we've went through 4 or 5 web designers and our website in the back end is atrocious. And the reason that we could never move to Shopify earlier is that Shopify did not offer CBD subscriptions, but now they do. So you can become a subscriber on the website. We have a lot of subscribers because they get 10% off their monthly order and we resend it on a reoccurring 30-day, 60-day, or 90-day. It's up to you. But we invested the money to say, no, let's spend a good amount of money and get something solid that we can build on. So Yellow Web Monkey are killing it. They're doing a great job. We're about to relaunch the website. Y'all won't even know. You won't even know when it happens. We're going to do it in the dead of night. And then once it's just all we do is just flip a switch and the new website kicks on. We're good to go. So that's the reason why we're kind of redoing a lot of stuff. And remember what I told you about business. It's the same in the military. When your foxhole's there, you're refortifying it. You're making it better. You're taking woods from the back of your position and putting it in the front to keep up fresh camouflage. You're reinforcing your sandbags. Same thing with your website. Your website is your fighting position. And if you're not enforcing it or reinforcing it, you got to keep up with the times. So that's what we're doing. And we appreciate y'all's patience for that. But yeah, that's why we've been kind of back and forth on the shows because, like I said, business comes first. So we sat in that meeting. We were learning how to use this program, and it's like training a couple idiots. Like Josh and I said, I was like, I'm going to have to hit you back on this about 1 million times, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to learn it. So But well, yeah, I'm excited for this, man. Like
it's gonna be great.
We dropped a lot of money on this. We're like, fuck.
Really
but at the same token,
into our business. So excited.
Yeah, and that's what people don't seem to understand. Of like these millionaires and stuff. It's like, well, they just hoard the money. We're not. I would have loved to have an extra. You and me can split 15 grand. I'll go, okay, let's do it. Yeah. But in the business world, that money needs to better go towards making more money, which you can then reinvest and make more money, and then grow your assets, grow all of this. But people don't get that. It's like, oh, I'll take a quick 15K payout. It's like, no, I'd rather reinvest it back in the business and increase our monthly profits. Why not? So that's business. That's business. So also, another rant. This has been building up, and all in the span of like 24 hours. I'm going to say this about the veteran community. And I guess let me push pause real quick, collect myself, because I think most people are kind of like, your delivery is a little offensive. Well, here you fucking go. Got a message. And I don't really read my messages very much on Facebook because I get tired of it. It's the same bullshit. People wanting to like suck my dick or kiss my ass. John, I'm your biggest fan. Granted, I do appreciate it, but I'm not going to have a conversation with you. I don't have time. I got 29,000 followers over there, which are probably going to get yanked down any day now because I get banned on Facebook faster than Oprah mouth fucks a Twinkie. I mean, it happens every fucking day. But I'm sorry. And the other thing is, half of you people are in there in my comments going, is there no show? It's like, look, back the fuck off. I get that you care, but I cannot answer all your DMs. And what happens when I don't answer, you just don't care about your followers. No, I don't to an extent. I can't. I do not have the mental capacity to give a fuck about all 29,000 of you. That's not my role. I'm not your daddy. It's not going to happen. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you sharing. But I cannot sit there and bend down and bounce each and every one of you on my knee and give you the attention that you were craving from Daddy Burk, which I don't know why you're craving it. I really don't. I'm a prick just like you. That's all there is to it. I just made fun of fat people and got famous doing it. Maybe make fun of fat people. I don't fucking know. Go after the Jews. I hear they're easy targets these days. I'm kidding. Don't do that. It's the blacks. No, I'm kidding about that too. It's the Asians. Nobody cares about that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop before I get canceled. But the point is, I got a message. I'll spam through it sometimes because I got some old Army buddies I still keep in touch with. And please don't take this. I don't appreciate our followers and listeners. I do. My God, we bend over backwards for half of you. But that being said, I'm such an asshole, but whatever. Got this message. And this woman is like, are you okay? You seem really angry. You've changed. I'm here if you need me. And this right here is one of the most slickest, smoothest forms of gaslighting that I have ever seen. And I see this reoccurringly, throughout my period, my time, however long it may be on social media. I've seen this reoccur. If you've never seen a YouTube video, if you've never seen me back from the car rants, you don't know who I am. Now, the reason I say this, I am outspoken. I am very convicted in my beliefs. I am passionate. What you attribute to anger, I do not. Josh can tell you, I'm not an angry person. I am passionate, and we are both deep in our convictions about our beliefs, whether they be political, theological, it doesn't matter. But the issue that I take is that many of you have never experienced passionately convicted people that speak out for their beliefs, and therefore you view it as foreign, which would probably be categorized in your head as wrong. Well, in my mind, to be passive and docile, I wouldn't say it's wrong, but it's not me. I cannot sit there and keep my tongue in my mouth. When I see things going wrong, I have to say something. It's how I'm just built. I was born this way, and you should accept it, you bigots. But when people will DM me those things or reach out and say that, I see the same thing reflected in the veteran community. Now, I had read a comment thread, and one guy was just saying, I disagree with you. I think we should be there, reaching out, checking on our buddies all the time. I disagree. You ready for this, folks? Because I'm going to make you think. That's my job. It's not to tell you what to think, but just how to think. And I'm showing you my thought process here. It is not my responsibility to reach out to any single one of you. I have a life. I have a business. I have enjoyments. I am not your babysitter. None of you are. Just like none of you are my babysitter. What I am seeing now, and I've seen for a few, I want to say years now, but I've never really touched on this, but I feel it does need to be said. We need to stop with this. We need to check on our brothers. I'm not saying this mentality or this idea is wrong, but the effects that we are creating are wrong. Instead, or rather than instead, let me pull back real quick. We always take it initially surface level at best. Anytime an issue comes to light on social media, the most instantaneous reaction is usually an emotional, cosmetic, surface level response. That it sounds good, but at the core of it, it's not fixing the issues. And the issues that I see happening now are people are making a post on Facebook. Like me, for example, I'll post something that some people could view as negative. It's like, John, are you having a bad day? Hey, do you need to talk, brother? You're not thinking of killing yourself. In the DMs too. And you get, I don't want to say love bombed, but PTSD bombed when you just had a bad fucking day. These kid gloves that we have put on to handle veterans, men and women that once killed for a living, you suddenly treat like little puppy dogs. Oh, they've got it so bad. Grow up. Please. Stop this. How disingenuous of you to treat them as if they are children. They are adults. Now, granted, emotionally, they've been going through a hard time. But I'm going to say this, and I ask you to really consider what I'm about to say. I will not try and help to save the life of someone that does not want to be saved. I will not drown in the process of trying to rescue someone who refuses to swim. That's not what I'm going to do. I do not have the time, nor the care for that matter, to be honest with you. Because, folks, the matter is, if you are going to commit suicide, you are going to commit suicide. There is no changing that. I am not trying to generalize here, but literally all of my friends that have done it, no signs given and no outreach made. Now, you can call that anecdotal. I don't. I'd say that's my truth. That's what I've experienced. Does that apply to all veterans? Of course not. But there is something to be said about that. So let's put into context. I need to be reaching out. Man, there are people out there with kids. They got families. They ain't got that kind of emotional time. They got problems of their own. What we should instead be doing, and which we are doing to an extent, and I would love to see more people get on this train, is encourage them to reach out, saying, look, I'm just here if you want to talk, but I'm not going to be there to wipe your ass every time you have a bad day. But there are people on social media that do that. You serve as the babysitters when that position was never warranted. You're talking to men and women that handled $1 million pieces of equipment. They are completely capable. They are completely capable. Though some of them choose not to reach out. Therefore, that is their problem. That is an issue. But at the same token, I will not be blamed in that issue. I will not let that issue impact my life. I can't. It's impossible. But instead, like I said before, we should be changing the narrative of saying there is nothing wrong with reaching out. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. And as a brother, I will be there. But don't expect me to be sitting there waiting on pins and needles saying, I'm here whenever you need me. No. Sometimes I got shit going on, so I can't check on you all the time. But if you hit my inbox, you text me, bro, I need to talk. I'm there in a heartbeat. Now, I'm asking you to just think on this. Think on this. Because the complete opposite is what's been happening. And what it's done is created toxic responses. Toxicity within the community. Instead, you'll see 1 million people. Oh, you're not thinking about anything bad. And that person's just loving the attention. And then before you know it, they're posting more stuff that's attention-making posts. And those same people there, and don't you dare call them out to saying, stop being an attention whore. Because if you do, you're enabling suicide. No, that's correcting incorrect behavior. Toxic attention-seeking behavior. I'm not saying everybody that does that, but I'm telling you this. A lot of you out there, through this enabling mindset, you have been coddled into thinking that you can make these attention cries on social media that are giving the illusion or the perception that you might be suicidal. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, all you need is 3 or 4 good friends. 3 or 4 good friends. Well, John, I don't have them. Then go fucking find them. Go make them. You want to get saved, then you got to save yourself. Now, I'm not saying that it's like, pull yourself up. But if you want to create the environment or the network of support, it's not just going to be available to you. And folks, let's not even kid ourselves. Most veterans do not want to talk to a stranger that has not been in their position or their shoes. They don't take any comfort for that. There is something to be said about the familiarity of a shared experience rooted in trauma. You know they get it. Most veterans don't feel comfortable like that. So it falls on each of us to be there for one another. What was wrong? What's wrong with saying that? Instead of saying, we got to bend over backwards, and anytime somebody says anything remotely negative, we have to just jump on it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Look, if you do it, you do it. But if you choose not to and you need help, I'm here. I prefer you not to do it. But bro, if you do wind up taking that pill, pulling that trigger, sticking that needle in, then you made the choice. I remember years ago, this one grifter in the PTSD community called me. We lost another one. Who was he? He was a veteran in Michigan. Oh, did you know him? No. Okay, well, don't get me wrong, it sucks, but what are you doing? You are overreacting. This is the same motherfucker that dropped bodies and was making dead baby jokes. And I'm just sitting there, your behavior, your attitude is enabling. You're taking way too much personal responsibility for a choice that you didn't make. You can't blame yourself for that. And then these same people that do this, you develop mental issues of your own. Survivor's guilt because of choices other people made that they chose to make. How is that any of our faults? It's not. But the perception is reality on social media. We've got a virtue signal. We've got to go out there and beat the drum of I'm there for, oh my God, dude, the conversations I've had and the debates and arguments I get into, people will, I literally had one guy in our nonprofit saying, our nonprofit has saved this many lives, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why are you even keeping count of that? Who gives a fuck? It's a money-making grift to some people and this enablist behavior. Buy this ring to combat PTSD. Have any of you noticed the shit that I said years ago? It's actually starting to come to light, and now you're starting to catch on. But I was the bad guy back then, and not a single one of you motherfuckers are going to apologize to me. I know you won't. It's almost like I have some kind of insight because I've got my finger in the digital footprint or the social media realm of what the fuck is going on. I see perspectives from all sides of the spectrum. I see it. I read it daily to the point where I go back to say I like getting paid for this content. It takes a taxation on my fucking mental well-being. It does. You think I'm wrong? Ask this dude sitting across from me. I have to work on controlling my negative energy, invested in these fucking online debates. For what reason? Who fucking cares? You're not changing any minds. But to go back to that point, the narrative has got to change. Maybe it is already changed. I don't know. But I am so out of that world. And the other thing I love about tone-deaf veterans, oh my God, I made a post. And I do appreciate the offers. Let me first clarify it with this. I appreciate the offers of people wanting me to get involved in the nonprofits. People know I hunt. I get invited to these hunts. Guys, I do appreciate it, but stop doing this. Give it to the veterans that need it. I can afford my own hunt. Now, if people are wanting more exposure, I'm not your guy. I won't do it. I have been burned so many times with nonprofits in the veteran space. I don't care who you are. I've even had to tell personal friends, I won't do it. Because I don't have the time to sit down and go over your 990s and your itemized list. And that's why when I say Project Veritas, there should be investigations. I don't care if it's O'Keefe. I don't care if it's the board. There should be investigations because what I care about is the donor that's down to his last $10 and gives you 3 because he believes in your mission. So when you're out there potentially spending $20,000 on the gayness of going to the theater as a group, I'm sorry, gayness in a good way. Everybody's, oh, we're gay. But I should probably really start pulling back on the whole fucking proper English because people don't get that. But when people do that, that's donor money. That's not what it was intended for. And I take issue with that. I don't care, and pay attention, I don't care if it's one of ours. I don't care if it's a conservative. I don't care if it's a libertarian. That is not your money to do with in that capacity. That's not how you raise it. Now, if you fundraise based only on that, fair enough. So you'll excuse me if all these blue checks and conservatives that bandwagon like crazy, that scream for due process, suddenly come to the I stand with James. I don't stand with any of you. I just stand for the truth. Wherever that falls, so be it. But that is such a difficult concept for so many people to wrap their brains around because we've become so tribalized. And I find myself falling for this too. Don't get me wrong. I fall for it too. But sometimes we need some voices out there in the social media world to say, wait a minute, due process should be given. Innocent until proven guilty. I have not said O'Keefe is guilty. I'm saying there should be an investigation. The accusations are there. It should be investigated. And until there is an investigation, it goes to court. I believe neither of them. So I will not pick a side. I refuse to. I think that's completely fair, honestly. I don't, and folks, I'll be honest with you. These are my views. This is how I act. This is how I hold myself in day-to-day interaction. If you do not like how I feel about the veteran PTA, I don't care. Because I'm not going to sit there and just love bomb people saying, oh, your boss yelled at you. You're not thinking of killing yourself, are you? Like, Jesus Christ. That is like gaslighting. You're sitting there just saying, so when that person sent me that message, are you okay? Are you? And you're sitting there going, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you really this mentally weak that you think someone that has the willingness to say, and this is the other thing, half of you don't like how I deliver my, well, maybe the people that are listening do because you're here for a reason, but some of you out there is like, oh, you're a little too crass for me. You're a little too harsh. I got your fucking attention, didn't I? This is what you people don't seem to understand. Niceness goes nowhere. It goes nowhere in this society until you get an asshole like me that says it in the capacity or the fashion that resonates with so many. It falls on deaf ears. And I'm going to tie this into Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is 100% right. If you've not been following Matt Walsh on Twitter, he is 100% right. No more tolerance to those that are intolerant. Stop being afraid of the degenerates of the left. And he went hard on that Dylan Mulvaney wacko. And he should. Matt Walsh helped pass legislation in Tennessee that banned transgender mutilation of children. He's actually getting results. And all of you fucking little conservative simps out there that care so much about playing about big tech rules. Oh, don't offend the trans people. Don't offend the gays. Don't offend anybody. That's why you never fucking get anywhere. Compassion has gone nowhere. The live and let live, which I was a part of, has failed. Why has it failed? Because they refuse to adhere to their side of the unwritten social agreement that we supposedly had, that they never actually agreed to. I'm tired of your degeneracy being thrown in my face. I'm tired of seeing your gayness everywhere. I just want to live my fucking life, for crying out loud. And then what was once, let him get married. It's nothing, it's perfectly normal. Blah, 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 and I'm right there with you. But then it turned into, oh, well, let him get married. Let's promote men dressing as women, blah, blah, blah. Oh, because who's it hurting? Oh, it's hurting a lot. And I think many of you, like myself, are starting to see the effects it has on society. There is a reason traditionalism was embraced for so long. It's almost as if they kind of knew this probably would happen. Because I got news for you. Homosexuality is nothing new. It's nothing new. And unfortunately, it's the extremists within any group that gets the most attention. But I'm sorry, when that attention is derived in the grooming of children, your entire organization should be expunged. It should be gotten rid of. It should not exist. It's disgusting. It's reprehensible. And I'm tired of these conservatives out there in the political spectrum that you lack backbone. You lack balls. Oh, compassion and respect is the way to go. No, the fuck it's not. Because where is the compassion and respect that should be shown to us? Because right now, white Christian heterosexuals are being attacked left and fucking right. And so many of you are so scared of being called a bigot, of being called a racist. I don't fucking care what you call me. I just don't like you. I think you're disgusting. And I find that most people out there that look at this and say, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. These are the feelings of people that want to fuck children. They want to chop off the penises of little boys and perform mastectomies on little girls. If I had my way, you would be hung in a public square, drawn and fucking quartered. We have become too nice, too lackadaisical, too complacent. Because of these fucking political commentators. Oh, don't be mean. Don't offend the gays. Don't offend the blacks. Don't offend the minorities. But meanwhile, you've got no issue being in their targeted crossfire. None. Because we have to be nice. We have to, don't you say what you think. How about you fucking say what you think? And stop backing down from black supremacists within the BLM, from degenerates within the LGBT, from racists on the right. You should be able to speak your fucking mind, folks. The only reason cancel culture exists is because we let it, and Dave Chappelle nailed it. Twitter is not fucking real. Social media is not fucking real. Stop pretending like it is. Speak your fucking mind and don't give a fuck about these people. It's a 3F approach. Unless they feed, fuck, or finance me, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. And that's the problem with social media is too many of you out there, you care so much into other people's perceptions. Guess what? I've got enemies. I've got people that genuinely want to see me dead, and I don't fucking care. How many of you out there love to sit there and beat the Winston Churchill quote to death? You hate it. Good. It means you stood up for something. And yet you sit there and you kowtow to the degenerates of the progressive left and the fucking theocrats of the right. You're so afraid to say something. Why? You're constraining who it is that you're meant to be. Now, if you don't want to, fair enough. I'm not going to judge you based on that. But to these political commentators out there, they're a lot bigger than me. because you had the help of the fucking grifters of the Turning Point community and the rest of them, and you sit there, oh, well, we should be nice with understanding. You cannot reason with insanity. It's unreasonable. Matt Walsh is 100% right. Now, if you don't like how he does it, then don't fucking watch him. And don't embrace his style. That's perfectly fine. But oh my God. I saw the quartering. I've never even heard of this dude. And he got fucking roasted, and I love seeing that. He's probably a good dude, probably puts out some good content, but he was just kind of like, Matt Walsh fucking crucified him, and he should have. He wanted to go at it with Matt Walsh. What'd you do? You learned. You got your pee-pee smacked, and you ran away. You apologized. Good for you. Don't get me wrong. But Matt Walsh is getting results. Where are yours? What are you doing? I have so much respect for that. I love that. He's preaching facts. The fact that so many of you even give a fuck about Dylan Mulvaney, I think the piece of shit is crazy. He's insane. Trying to undermine the very foundation of what it means to be a woman. You have a pocket full of tampons to stick up your ass. You're a man. Stop being so tolerant of the mentally delusional insane. The same thing applies to the enablist mindset of the veteran community. Stop pandering for the sake of virtue signaling on social media, because honestly, it's undermining the care that should be given to those that are actually dealing with these issues. But we can't do that because so many of you out there fake being what you are on social media. At least you know John Burk to be the complete fucking prick you see on here. You can at least take value in that. I'm not going to change. It's been 5-6 years. I have not changed. I'm not going to change. Why should I? Each one of us has certain characteristics that are inherent to ourselves. Could be shared by many, but they are inherent to us. To ignore those gifts, be they playing instruments, writing poetry, whatever. I've clearly got a very skilled tongue, my girlfriend will tell you. Why would I hold back on sharing that gift with the world? Who gives a fuck what people think about me? Half of you in here could abandon me tomorrow and I would still be here. We've got an audience of over 700 watching just on Rumble and Spreely. I'm not even looking at YouTube and other shit. We're getting 40 to 50,000 views a video now. If every single one of you left, I was doing this with 10 viewers, and it's not going to change. It will not change. If our new sponsor says, oh, John, you're saying something to me, like, get the fuck out. I don't need your money. You can bet on that, folks, because I have not compromised my beliefs or values. And I sit here, and I almost feel like a social media preacher. I say these things years ago and get just crucified in the veteran. Oh, John's such a prick. Where are those guys now? Where are you at now? Nowhere to be found. That's why I don't really give you any kind of care. I don't care about your opinions, because when you are wrong, 9 times out of 10, you will not DM me. You will not comment. You won't say a fucking word of apology. I will. I'll say, I got this one wrong, guys, because the only difference is people are listening to me and they're not listening to you. So you're not accountable for your beliefs. You might offend 2 people. Try a couple thousand that could eventually potentially go viral. I've already done it. I'll do it again. I'll fucking do it again. Watch me. I don't care. Fuck trans. Fuck the LGBT. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm just saying. All right. That's why I called this John Burk Rants. Oh, and I do have to say this real quick, too. To the contemporary black community, I'm tired of hearing your bullshit. You didn't experience Jim Crow. You didn't experience anything like that. Those that did, you don't get to speak for them. They can speak for themselves. My generation of whites that are in agreement that racism is wrong, we're tired of being pounded over the head with your bullshit ideology of Jim Crow era racism. You never experienced it. Therefore, you do not get to talk and play victim to something that you didn't grow up in and experience firsthand. Otherwise, if there is no statute of limitations of victimhood, then I'm going all the way back to where my ancestry was from. And I get to play victim. So you'll excuse me. If you're from my generation, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't care when it comes to racism. I had a racist black first sergeant. Pretty much ruined my career. Do I get a voice? Nope, because I'm not black. Stop being afraid of being white and calling out other communities for their bullshit. To include whites, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. Oh, well, you're not black. You can't speak on. Yeah, I'm also not a mechanic, but I know when my car's fucked up. That's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Blacks and race. It's because you have a cultural issue. Look at other minorities in this country. They're excelling. The Asian community, they're excelling. Why? Culture. Jews, And I know Jews probably a horrible example because people are going to go out there like, well, Jews take care of themselves. I wonder why. Irish, Chinese, Japanese, Asians that, and so back as 45 were locked up into internment camps. They're still alive. You see them bitching nearly as much as the black community does because you have a cultural issue that you do not want to inwardly address. You glorified the hip hop industry that influenced so many young black kids' minds into thinking that violence was good, degradation of women was a good thing, drugs, guns, things like that, violent nature. And then you wonder why these women lower their morality standard, their moralistic standards, and you're fucking random dudes having 10 different fucking babies with 10 different guys, and you can't keep a man in that household. Because why? These young women are not taught self-respect. They're not taught to close your legs until that dude proves himself to you. You're not taught these things. But instead, economically, you're weaned on the government. So naturally, you're going to keep voting for the same people that basically enslave you because of the fucking wallet. And as a white guy, it's not me sitting here saying, I don't like black people, saying, this is the issue. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't give a fuck to say anything about it. This is the issue. John, it starts with education. You're right. You're 100% right. It does start with education. So you explain to me how those black teachers have to deal with disruptive little black shitheads every fucking day, interrupting class. And these women, these teachers, they don't get paid shit. They get paid horribly. And they actually care. You should be holding up and praising these black inner cities teachers and giving them the raises they deserve because they deal with your little shitty ass offspring. Because the majority of them, and this has been statistically proven, 73% single parent household has been proven that usually your kids don't turn out so well. And it's the same in the white community. But cultural values come into play. And the fact is, I had a great discussion with a black dude on Facebook about this. He's like, well, nobody's really bringing this to light. He's like, yes, we are. It's just that if a white person does it, you accuse us of racism. There's plenty of like political commentators that will sit there and say, these are some of the issues. We have issues in the white community. Although I don't really see it as a community because I don't fucking go to meetings or shit. I don't know. Do blacks have meetings? I don't fucking know. But I am tired of this Jim Crow. Oh, blacks are such victims. Blah, blah. And then I look at other minorities that are crushing it, that are actually have way less representation than blacks in America. Explain to me the racism that supposedly exists, yet every fucking liberal I get into a debate with on Facebook, I say, fine, show me one law, one piece of legislation. But all you do is you make it akin to healthcare as a right. Well, no, it's not. It's actually not. You are not entitled to anybody else's labor for free. It's just not. Does the government do their job for free? No, you pay them. Forced, might I add. And therein lies the issue. You have a cultural issue from within. Again, we know the stats. You can go look it up. The stats are there. The stats do not lie. So rather than saying, oh, we should take some accountability and wean ourselves off of government dependency, instead, as a community, have leadership rise up from within and say, we will not stand for this. We are going to exile that which is killing us. But instead, we glorify the wrong things. And the black community is on a fast track to that. Look at the videos, these hip-hop stars. You think these hip-hop artists give a flying fuck? To you single black women out there that have children, listen to me now. Cut that music out of their lives. Those hip-hop artists are just the same as the government. They don't give a flying fuck about you. But instead, what they fill your tiny child's head with, and other music isn't any better, don't get me wrong, but they fill your child's head with the wrong things. The priorities are wrong. And it's true, if the parent does not raise the child, the police will. We have instead deflected all responsibility and blame onto the government and everybody else except those who deserve it the most. Now, don't get me wrong, clearly racism exists, but I experienced it. Do I get to sit there and claim victimhood from now on? How long? What's the statute of limitations of my career in the military being ruined? A career in which I fought and bled in by a black racist. And you probably don't even believe me that are listening to this. Oh, it's not. Oh, yes, the fuck it is. His name was Stanton. Black Mason, Sergeant Major Cannon, Black Mason. They played dominoes together at the lodge all the fucking time. And if any one of them had an issue with you, you were fucking done. And there's a shitload of other minorities and white soldiers that will attest to that. But the narrative has been so spun up that blacks are the only victims in America and whites cannot be the victim of racism. Just the proof or just the idea of me having a racist black first sergeant proves your narrative is wrong. Racism exists in every spectrum, in every race out there. You do not get to monopolize it because if a white person comes out, folks, just bear with me for 1 second. If a white person comes out and says they were discriminated against from a black person, what are the odds the narrative or the MSM is going to pick that up? What are the odds that even Fox News is going to touch that? So when I tell you that my generation is fucking sick of it, that we are not being given, or we're being clubbed over the head by contemporary black people saying, oh, Jim Crow, racism, blah, 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 blah. You'll excuse me if I am tired of having tried to bid an ally, and then on social media and other places, I get nonstop accused of being a racist because I don't agree with half the shit you say, because it's founded in bullshit. So you alienate us. Go right ahead, because all you're doing, just like your white liberal counterparts, it's not the fact that racism exists. You create it. You create racism. You need it. Without it, how else can you be a victim? There are plenty of successful black entrepreneurs out there fucking crushing it. We've all experienced racism to one extent or another. I had a fucking, like I said, career ended because of it. Who do I get to blame? Do I get to blame? Let's just put this in perspective. If people sitting there saying, oh, show them some respect, some compassion, show them this, show them that. Well, then how long do I get to do that? Do I then get to project my anger onto all black people because of that racist black dude? That's what you're doing. That's all I see. Can't even make fun of black people in jokes anymore. And everyone's so offended. You know what? Offend them. Who gives a fuck? When did we become so programmed into thinking that, oh, we just don't want to? No, offend the fuck out. And if you fucking pull the trigger, so be it. That's just society weeding out the fucking weak. It's the truth. Did a Hogwarts legacy make a trans person want to kill themselves? Well, I mean, you're just solving the problem at that point. So clearly your lives don't matter to you. Why the fuck should I care? Daddy Burk's hitting some issues. I'm hitting some fucking issues on this one. A fucking video game. Because J.K. Rowling says, I don't agree with transgenderism because it's undermining women. And maybe you fruitcakes should be locked into camps. You need help. Went on to gross $850 billion or $1 million. It's just crushing. And I'm sitting here going, great, good. Nobody cares about trans people. You're not even real people. You're fakers. You're fakers. All right. That does it. Where are we at? Oh, man, it's already been an hour almost. Giving you guys a lot of content to make up for the last 48 hours I've been gone. Going horse. Let's get to the news. You know what's sad? Is that Putin, for those who don't know, Vladimir Putin gave an address 2 hours long, and he attacks Western ideology. And here's the fucked up part. I agree with him. He talked about... Yeah,
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And that does not make me a Putin apologist. That does not make me a Russian supporter. But when Putin goes up there and says that the Western ideology is to abandon and destroy the traditional family, he's not wrong. He is right.
Yeah.
And there is nothing wrong with being a traditionalist. There is nothing wrong with being a masculine man. And do you notice these trans? They're not alphas. It's all weak beta men. I'm being serious. Really sit down and look at this. They are weak beta men. Look at that swimmer, Leah Thomas, or whatever that douchebag's name is. In men's rankings, he's like 400 and something. And women's, he's so weak in the man category, he goes to women's because he cheats. And these people have no conscience. So you'll excuse me if I don't really care about your feelings or for killing yourselves. I don't care. You're attempting to destroy what it means to be a woman. Dylan Mulvaney, fuck that nerd. And what do you do in the name of progressivism? It's like you people go out there and you intentionally look for the most insane ideologies to adopt to showcase just how acceptant and tolerant you are. To the point of, we want to fuck your kids.
You know, where was that dude's parents? The swimmer? What was his name?
Leah Thomas, whatever that dude's name is. Yeah.
Where's that kid's parents?
I would love to see his parents. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. They could be just as fucked up as he is. Or you can have the Kaepernick situation where his white parents are like, I don't know what's wrong with that fucking douchebag. We didn't raise him like that. He got around the wrong people. Married a Muslim, and the next thing you know, he's espousing all this bullshit about, black people oppression, while you sit there and make millions. Millions, sir. You'll forgive me if I really don't give a fuck about your feigned oppression. You don't get to sit there and be the voice of something that you have never firsthand experienced to that degree. You did not grow up in Jim Crow. You grew up privileged. You had white parents that were together that raised you. Well, I got some sidelong glances. Oh, you poor thing. You poor baby. There are certain parts of Dallas that I will go down that I'll get sidelong glances from black people. Oh, you poor Victor. I get called cracker all the fucking time. Does that really do it for you? Are you really so mentally weak you give the opposing side the ability to make you angry and make you feel bad because of who you are, the color of your skin? Are you really that mentally weak? Yes, you are. Because all we do is enable this bullshit mentality. Oh, they called me a racist word. How will I? Fucking grow up. Fucking grow up. Are you kidding me? Do words hurt that much? For a group of people that you say you don't care about and don't faze you, oh my God. The whiningness. The whining, the level of, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I fucking don't like Pete Buttigieg. But they're like grilling this dude over his word. He's like, I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's poor word. He clearly didn't mean it in that capacity. Yeah, he's a fucking flaming idiot. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see that guy fired. But really, come on. There has to be a differential of common fucking sense. You think he really got up there and intentionally said, I just lost my train of thought? Like saying, it's like a Freudian slip at best.
I don't know.
Nah, come on now. I hate him too, but come on.
I say fuck that guy.
Oh, I say fuck him too, but fuck him for the right. Well, hold on, let me rephrase that. Fuck that guy over. Well, screw him for the right reasons.
No, I say hold his feet to the fire. Just everything
on the
that
things that he intentionally has done and ignored. I'm sorry, but I cannot agree with somebody that goes up there and says I lost my train of thought, as if he's not talking about a literal train. He's just meaning a frame of mind. I get it. I don't like the dude, but I think that's fair. And the reason that I say this is because I saw this article on Fox News. We're making a mountain out of a molehill. This is exactly what liberals do. But instead, attack it for the right reasons. This guy's lazy. They're slow to respond. And I think they actually did grant them FEMA. I think I just read they are being given. I'll have to verify on that one. But holy shit.
Well, that just took Donald Trump going down there and taking some water and
Bro,
you hear these
know
people
what they bitch about?
About the water?
The water. It's expired. I've drank fucking expired bottled water. It's still clean. Cleaner than what they got.
Like, what did the Biden administration drop off?
Exactly. What did the Biden administration do? They're over in fucking Ukraine sucking Zelensky dick. Meanwhile, they're losing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But again, there is no, and so folks, that just proves my point when it comes to transgenderism and things like that, and these commentators talking about being polite and shit. You cannot reason with the unreasonable. Like that defiant dad douchebag. Hope somebody catches that motherfucker in the streets.
He's like probably 5'2".
Oh, he probably is. He looks like a little fat douchebag.
Yeah,
but the point being, though, is that he's a paid propagandist. I know that. He is 100% paid propagandist.
Oh, yeah.
But the point being is that it's people like him that will never concede any ground or give you a good faith argument. They will never do it. Therefore, you cannot come to them with good faith arguments. You come to them with the same violence they show towards you. You come to them with the same bullshit they push on you. Now, what that dude is doing, he's just tweeting. He's tweeting to get responses. That's all they do. That's all they do. And what does it do? It's made him famous.
Tiny Dad Defiant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dabrowski, that douchebag, that JoJo bitch. These are all paid propagandists. They do this intentionally.
Their interaction has gone down since Elon Musk has taken over.
I hope they get banned.
A majority of their following was probably bots.
100%. Yeah. I hope they do get banned. I'm in favor of banning because guess what? Social media does not apply to free speech.
I would just be embarrassed to be those guys to try to put.
They're making money, dude. That shows a sincere lack of conscience.
The arguments that they're putting up, like it's Trump, he's the one to blame for the regulate, and it's clearly been debunked.
Yeah.
He's bringing water. It's just Trump water, and Stallone said he wouldn't drink it.
I would rather drink sewer water than Trump water, bitch. Fucking, but again, he does that to get a reaction.
You
and
won't
what do
drink
people
that water,
do?
but you're eating a lot of asshole over there. How's that taste?
I had a buddy. He was a buddy. It's Graham Allen. He's fucking, that guy's on his own fucking thing. But he whatever. I'm not going to go down that road. Point being, just because you have a following doesn't mean it's a following of people that actually like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could be people that actually fucking hate you. And Brooklyn Dad Defiant, the rest of them, case in point on that.
I don't follow him. He just keeps, because I engage in his tweets.
But every time you engage, I'm right there with you. But it builds that algorithm. It does. And the thing I noticed, I caught another Twitter ban, by the way. I'm banned for 7 days. I'll be
really
back. Yeah. I told somebody to delete themselves. How is that bad? Like, delete your account. I guess it should be more specific. I guess they talking about like encouraging suicide, which, if I'm being honest, it was a pedophile sport. So I'm kind of like, if you want to swallow a bullet, go ahead. I wouldn't stop you. In fact, I might pay for it for you. You know, if you need the ammunition, I'll give it to you. Do the world a favor. Kill yourself.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, pieces of shit. Sorry, there's a time for civilized society, and there's a time for savagery, and the savagery counterbalances it. There's a time to be violent. It's even the Bible, to every season. Eagles sing about it. Turn, turn, turn. It's true. I think it was the Eagles. To everything turn. Maybe it wasn't the Eagles. It was one of those 60 hippie bands, but they were right. They were right. You need the yin for the yang. You have to have, there can be no light without darkness and vice versa. You cannot have love without hate. Otherwise, it just is what it is. There has to be a counterbalance. And the same with society. There must be violence. There must be bullying. There must be harassment on those that do not belong and contribute to said society. Pedophiles being one of them. There is nothing wrong with bullying a pedophile. There is nothing wrong with being violent towards a pedophile. I don't see a reason why there should be. Why there should be anything wrong with that. These are people that want to have sex with children. Did you know there are people out there that want to have sex with babies? Did you know that? Yeah, it's true. Sex with babies. And it's disgusting. All right, let's get into the news, because speaking of sex with babies, R. Kelly sentenced to 20 years for child sex crimes. 20 years of child sex crimes.
It's like he got off easy there, right?
Well, no. That's just one thing. He's got other stuff in here. But I would kind of want to pull a lot of the lyrics of what R. Kelly sang about back in the day, and let's really break it down for, are these really the lyrics that your children should be listening to? Are these the things that you should be feeding yourself? Folks, I know you're not going to want to hear this because usually the truth hurts and we want to reject it, but that which we consume, we are. You sow what you reap. What you put into your body is how your body will respond. You all talk about mental health, talking about taking things for mental health. Folks, what are you listening to? Uh-oh. Do I have to preach this too? This is a common sense thing we've gotten away from. You think you can listen to this type of just degenerate, hateful, violence-filled music. And I'm sorry, I will not agree with stopping using the N-word until I see black people stop it in their hip-hop songs. And it's true. You do not get to sit there and virtue signaling about that word while you sit there and you drop it as if it's a badge of honor. Uh-oh, Cracker speaking good, isn't he? Saying the shit you don't want to hear. You don't get to sit there as a black performer and bring a white dude on the stage to sing your song where you use that racist slur and then pull the microphone and say, oh, no, you don't get to say that. Like, fuck, he doesn't. You do. You don't own anything regarding language. How dare you? So until I start seeing the black community taking accountability and cleaning up that mess, do not expect me to fucking vouch for you. Do not expect me to give one care or fuck about the issues that you are currently dealing with, because until I start seeing accountability, it ain't gonna happen. That applies to any community. If my white community is out there saying, no, black people don't get to use cracker. Meanwhile, we're using cracker left and right. Isn't that hypocritical of me to say? Yes, it very much is. It very much is, but that's because I have a conscience. I actually have a sense of morality. Many people do not. They're called liberals. That's what they do. A federal judge on Thursday rejected a call from prosecutors to keep R. Kelly behind bars until he is 100. Instead, telling the Grammy Award-winning R&B singer he would serve all but one of his 20 years on child sex convictions simultaneously with a previous sentence. Handed down in a courtroom in Kelly's hometown of Chicago, the sentence means Kelly could make it out of prison alive when he is about 80. He's not going to live. No. Knowing this guy's conviction, they probably got him separated from, but if he goes into main lockdown, he's dead. As he should be. You're a fucking predator. You're a child. Fuck you. For those that don't know, if you're one of those people that have sex with a pedophile and you go to prison, you have a very hard time if you make it out alive, because they will kill you in there. Vigilante justice works. But again, he's big. He's famous. He probably won't. They probably won't. They'll keep him segregated. Prosecutors have asked Judge Harry Lineweber to sentence him to 25 years and to not let him begin serving those until after he completed the first 30-year sentence imposed on him last year in New York for federal racketeering and sex trafficking convictions. The nature of this offense is horrific, Lineweber said, in explaining the 20-year sentence. So it's two different sentencings. He noted that Kelly's sexual abuse victims would suffer from his crime for the rest of their lives. At the same time, he accepted defense arguments that Kelly might not even make it to 80, so handing him a consecutive lengthy sentence rather than allowing him to serve all but 1 year of it simultaneously didn't make much sense. He has a life expectancy of not a hell of a lot more, the judge said. He is 56. He's 56? Wow, I feel old. Well, pissing on people will age you. I get it.
Wait, so if he gets out when you said he's 80, that still doesn't seem like that much time.
It doesn't.
It really does be life.
He should be life in prison. Yeah,
should be done with
sex trafficking.
Right.
Good Lord.
That's it.
The only reason people commit these crimes is because they're not afraid of the punishment of said crimes. Throw on a death penalty for something like that, it'll crack down a lot. It won't knock it out completely.
Look, Bill Cosby got out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And he was roofing women.
Yep.
Knocking them out and
raping
them.
And then trying to give him that pudding pop. Drink this. Smell like chloroform. Yes. That was really weird. That was a joke that grew wings and flew to fucking hell. Like, oh my gosh. Kelly remains still, his eyes downcast, as Longweber explained what was at times a hard-to-follow sentence. He did seem to show some emotion when a representative read a statement written by Jane, one of his accusers and a key prosecution witness. She said, "I was brainwashed by Robert and a sex slave," Jane's statement said. "It almost killed me." Kelly did not make a statement in court prior to the sentencing decision, heeding the advice of his lawyer, Jennifer Bonjean, to stay quiet while they appeal both his Chicago and New York convictions. "It's the right outcome," Bonjean said of the sentence after the hearing ended. "The judge was reasonable. He, I think, took it into account both sides and ultimately was fair." Good. More of this. More of this towards anybody. I don't give a fuck who they are. UK Defense Secretary warns war is coming to Britain, demands more military spending.
Yikes.
Calling it, folks. We are on the cusp. We are on the cusp. We're in 1 year into this Ukrainian conflict. They've taken over 160,000 casualties. They are going to run out of bodies. And what then? Ukraine loses, Russia takes over, and NATO just stands by? You think that's going to happen? That's what's going to happen. UK is calling for more. Oh my gosh. We are in dangerous times. Dangerous fucking times. This is crazy to see. It still blows my mind that Ohio is dealing with this and Biden goes to Ukraine. And don't think, and I'm going to say it, and I don't care what people say, don't think for 1 second Trump did not plan this. Kudos to Trump. Granted, good for him. But don't you sit there for a second and think this is not some kind of political strategy.
Oh,
how many other
100%
issues?
100%,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people on the left.
But I would have done the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. But these Benny Johnsons, what a guy. How can you not love it? Bro, really? Really?
He would have been dumb if he didn't do it.
I agree. Well,
if he didn't do it,
yeah,
he would have been stupid.
Yeah. I think,
getting on his plane,
but
handing out
let's
water.
call it for what it is. Yeah, and I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. At least he's doing something. It just goes to show the community handles shit better than the government does.
Yeah, and this particular part of Ohio voted overwhelmingly for Trump. So
it's natural. Yeah. Do you think if they were a liberal city, Trump would have done that?
Yeah, I think he would.
I don't think so.
100%
Think
would.
so?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Wherever there's a disaster and the government, like the Biden administration, isn't showing up, he's going to be there to show that he's going to be there.
Yeah,
and that's smart.
It's smart, but let's not even conflate it for what it actually is or what partially is, because like I said, these turning point people will go out there and they will just praise him nonstop. And you know, a part of me, and oh my God, I hate saying this, but it's true. If you are bringing expired water, maybe that's, and I don't blame Trump. I think somebody that was logistically planning this didn't look into this. But if it's expired water, no. Like,
how would they know if it's expired water or not? They started saying
it's labeled.
Is it on? I mean,
yeah,
did they
it's
know
on
that?
the bottle. Yeah, it's on the bottles.
I don't know.
No. Look, if there's a bottle of water, there's an expiration date on it.
I know, but those particular bottles of water, did they know that they were expired?
Oh, I don't know.
They just keep saying it.
That's a good question.
Has anybody held
up
a bottle?
Fair enough. Yeah,
I haven't seen it because these people lie so often.
You're right. Where are they? Where are they getting this information that it was expired water? You're right. And if it's true, then yes. And that's not even a political thing. That's like a safety issue. Because at the same token, if those waters, and the other thing is, if that water sits on a pallet out in the sun, the plastic and stuff starts to bleed, and it can be toxic. But I've drank a lot of that in Iraq too, so I'm fine. But whatever, But I get what they're saying there. Like, I get that, but at the same token, at least I would rather have expired, and let me put it this way. I would rather have that expired water than no water at all. I mean, let me first clarify that statement. But I do think that if you're there, I'm just saying this, as if the water was expired, it's like, oh, that does not look good. I was like, that does not look good. It's great that you did it. Don't get me wrong.
I just don't think he's going to go out there with expired water where something could go incredibly wrong and put himself in that position. I just don't think
fair enough.
He is that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
crucifying the guy for throwing fucking paper towels into the audience. Yeah. Like, oh, it's such a bad thing.
He brought cleaning products. Yeah, he brought water. And so.
Well, I saw that same JoJo bitch do the same things. Like, oh, they didn't care about Puerto Rico. I was like, yes, he did. I remember that.
Yeah.
He cleared them hot. Go in, send it. And what did she do? that cunt fucking mayor was hiding pallets of water and supplies.
Yep.
I had friends, boots on the ground contractors saying, this is what we're dealing with. The government of Puerto Rico is trying to undermine Trump and the citizens are suffering.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah.
They're just liars.
That's what I'm saying.
If Pete Buttigieg is out there, I would hammer him for fucking everything because those people are such scumbags.
Yeah.
They deserve it. They deserve to be shamed as they walk down the street.
Yeah.
Going to their gay event, you know, instead of doing
2
his
months
job
off for your little gay children. Meanwhile, you've got
no. He's talking about
issues, all
personal
these
time. You're taking some personal time again.
Oh no, I think you meant like talking about that clip you saw.
There's a clip of a reporter walking down the street.
Yeah, I think he meant personal time as far as I'm walking down the street. This is my personal time. But he did do that weird thing of where he said, "Let me, can I take a picture of you?" And I'm like, why
the guy's
are you
a
doing that?
douchebag.
Oh, he is.
And doesn't belong there. Like the other.
Well, that's what affirmative action gets you based upon sexuality.
The other trans weirdo who stole all the luggage.
Sam Brightman.
And then ended up wearing.
Okay. All right.
Did I beat you to the.
You did. I'm glad you did this. Sam Brightman. Okay, so we're going to. This is going to be the last episode for about a week and a half. I'm heading to Argentina, and I had to order some new luggage because I'm just going with the hard shell because the soft shit, the wheels break on it. So coming back from fucking Europe, I was dragging my shit. Like I told my girlfriend, like, I'm gonna burn this fucking suitcase. Like I swear to God, I'm gonna burn this. I'm gonna. If it was possible to piss and shit all over it, I hated this. I was having to drag it, leaving black skin because the wheels broke because it was a piece of shit. So I bought these new hard shell ones that are even bigger, but I want to figure out a way to put this douchebag's face on mine that says warning or some shit like, have you seen me?
Have you seen those suitcases where people put their face on it?
Yes.
That's pretty.
I want to do it with him.
That would be hilarious.
It'd be great. But this guy, folks, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. And this is the greatest thing ever. Sam Brightman. Woman shows pictures suggesting her luggage was stolen by Sam Brightman, excuse me. A female fashion designer claimed that former official in the Office of Nuclear Energy, Sam Brinton, stole her clothes, and she substantiated the allegations in a now viral Twitter post. Asia Kasman, a Houston-based fashion designer, posted images of herself wearing clothing that former Biden administration official Sam Brinton, who was recently charged with multiple counts of theft, had been photographed in. The proof is right there. My name is Asaya Hamison Tanzania. I totally butchered that, but whatever. Fashion designer based in Houston, Texas, USA. I lost my bag in 2018. In DCA, recently I heard the news on Fox News about Sam Brinton luggage issue. Surprisingly, I found his images, wore my custom-made outfits, was in the lost bag on 2018.
This guy's a psychopath. Biden hired this guy
because of his sexuality.
What was his position? Something to do with
nuclear energy disposal.
Yeah. That's who they hired, this crazy person who's going around stealing women's...
He is stealing my luggage suitcase.
And wearing women's clothes and makeup.
Now, you look at this woman's stuff, and it's just like, I see how he altered it. It's clear as day, because people are like, oh, it's not the same. Yeah, it is. It's the exact same. You can see where he altered it. He basically pulled it. It's the same, and it's custom made. She made this. And this dude, it's just like, the shoe fits. This douchebag. I hope she does press charges. Oh, my God.
He belongs in jail.
He does belong in jail with the other degenerates. She said, even this jewelry was lost in my lost bag. And it's African. She's an African designer. I looked at her stuff. I looked her up. She makes really beautiful clothing, by the way. But at the same token, bro, really? Like, you can clearly tell this is African. Like, this
guy's crazy.
He is crazy. Yeah.
He looks like a complete psychopath.
So, if we shouldn't be hiring based upon sexuality, why should we be hiring based upon race? Uh-oh. Kempson stated that many of the clothes she had seen Brinton wearing were in her luggage, which vanished from Reagan Washington National Airport on March 9th, 2018. Dude, if they play back the video on that and they see his sorry ass there, that would be the greatest.
He's not going to be hard to spot.
No, really,
he's
no kidding.
Bald white guy with the bright red lipstick wearing women's clothes.
Oh, and he's got another one right here of her. Whenever the Biden administration lectures us about the DEI, I will think of this cross-dresser fetishist stealing a Tanzanian woman's luggage, to wear her clothes. Let me pull up the Twitter. There it is, side by side. Same, and she makes these. It's the same fucking outfit. Clear as day. He wears stolen women's clothes. Bro.
Yeah, he does look like Matt Damon. Everybody's right. Everyone is right.
Jasmine included pictures of her and the custom-made articles of clothing before they disappeared from the airport. The pictures were posted on Instagram as early as 2018. Britton was photographed wearing one article of clothing at an event for the Trevor Project on June 11, 2018. The Trevor Project is a pro-transgender organization that encourages transgenderism amongst youth. They should be put in jail.
Psychopath. He is a
degenerate psychopaths. Meanwhile, Camson's Instagram features a picture of the same article of clothing, which was posted to the site February 16th of 2018. Yep. There is no denying this. And she made these.
Yeah.
These are not knockoffs. This is not like you buy this in bulk. Like, she made these. And sure as shit, there he is. The gayness here is just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, hopefully this will get her name out there even more.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her. AOC rebuked for demanding Japan embrace LGBTQ alphabet wokeness during controversial Asia trip. Wow. You don't like colonialism. You don't like people interjecting their views and stuff on you, but you have no problem trying to push your degeneracy on Asians? They're just going to tell you to go fuck yourself, AOC, as they should. As they should. How dare you? How dare you, with your viewpoints on the alphabet mob, go over there and demand another culture change to what you want it and what you think it should be? Talk about the privilege, the minority privilege. Disgusting.
Until she comes out and makes out with a blue-haired lesbian, I'm just going to assume she's homophobic. She's got to put that to rest. Publicly come out.
What do you think? Oh, yeah, do it. Go do it. Go do it.
If you're not making out with a woman, then you must be homophobic, AOC, right? That's the rule.
You know what? That's actually a good point, because people say if you don't date a transgender, then you're a bigot. It's like, okay, well then, if you don't kiss that woman, you're a homophobe.
That's right.
You should fuck that woman, AOC, and film it and put it on Pornhub.
She should.
You should. What are you, a homophobe? What are you, a bigot?
Sounds like it. Sounds like it to me anyway.
Democratic. Well, I'm not even going to read any more of the story. It's just more wokeness from that retard, but it is what it is.
I cannot stand that lady either. There's so many
just idiots,
just corrupt,
exactly,
politicians,
stupid. Not even just
idiots,
corrupted, yes, but stupid. Just flat out ignorant that should not be in Congress. Should not. But again, this is what happens when you have a generation of morons. Marianne Williamson confirms she will run for president in 2024 as a Democrat. It looks like one of the DNC's first contenders to Joe Biden has made her announcement. Marianne Williamson, an author and spiritual thought leader who ran, I'm sorry, any liberal that claims spiritual thought leader, I instantly think that you're a hypocrite. Liberals know nothing about spirituality. Stop with this.
They're just making up titles.
Oh, exactly. I love my gay God. Hold on, I'll play it for you. You got to hear this. This is real. This fruitcake sitting there with a what is the I don't know if he's a Catholic. He's got a scarf, the sash
with the gay flag.
Yeah, the gay flag. But the normal one, is that Catholic, or is that a different denomination?
No, I think it's Catholic.
Is it Catholic? Yeah. Okay. That's probably why he wants me to call him daddy or father. Excuse me. Sorry. Got confused there for a second. I'm going to play this for you. Here we go.
God is gay.
What?
God is a lesbian.
What?
God is trans.
What?
God is gender non-binary. God is straight. God is cisgender. God is black. God is white. God is Middle Eastern. God is Asian. God is differently abled mentally and physically. God is able-bodied. God is you.
God is the one striking me down with the lightning bolt. That is also God.
Bro, on the day of judgment, you got a lot to atone for. Not that I'm without sin, but oh my gosh, to sit there and call God gay. And folks,
blasphemer.
This even tells me there is no reverence, there's no respect. It's done. Well, I mean, dude, I'm not trying to sit here and we're in the end times. I'm sorry, but I look at the condition of our society, or just the international society. There's nothing left. There is nothing left. We are maybe 2 generations away from we should just wipe each other out, because humanity has failed. It has failed. And where did it start to decline? Stop it. Embracing irrational thought. Embracing irrational sexuality. I do believe homosexuality should exist, but it should be frowned upon. Because look at society. What has it turned into now?
Yeah, I heard a street preacher debating some young college students. I think he was preaching, and they were asking him about homosexuality, and he talks about how everybody has to make their own decision. So he's like, Does it just because you have those feelings doesn't mean you have to act on it? He's like, I'm a heterosexual male.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and have sex with all these women because that wouldn't be right. So, you know, like that's a pretty good point.
Oh, true. And I also think that sometimes God tries us and puts us through different things and trials and tribulations. We're being tested nonstop to make us stronger for the next one. It's not saying that if you're a homosexual, you're going to hell. I don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know that at all.
For anyone to decide.
No, exactly not. But to sit there and condone sin and living in disbelief, then no, I'm sorry. I cannot agree with you. I believe in your right to freedom just as anybody else. When it comes to theology, no, I will not agree with you. I refuse to. I'm sorry. The scripture is laid out there, and I'm not going to like bend my convictions because it hurts your feeble feelings. And then again, folks, look what the homosexuality in America has devolved into. You cannot deny this. You cannot. It's design. I saw this one picture. It's a storefront. I forget where. I want to say probably California. It is a photograph of a overweight dude. It's a cartoon drawing, but it's depicted as real life in some BDSM outfit and a teddy bear hat on. And it's on a big wall, and somebody vandalized it and threw it on there and said, "Leave the kids alone." I encourage this type of behavior. Yeah. This is how you take your country back. This is exactly how you do it. Go out there and vandalize it. Get rid of it. Burn it fucking down. We as a society do not want this. I don't care what the woke weirdos say. You are not wanted. You are not needed. You should be expunged and exiled from society. If you condone children being able to view disgusting things like that. I had one homosexual dude talking about, I was like, well, y'all are mad because we're trying to, that you accuse the left of trying to force homosexuality down on the children. All you do is enforce heterosexuality via the cartoons and movies. Yes, because it's rooted in normalcy. It's traditionalism, and it's what's worked. It's what makes us thrive. It's how legacies are built. It's how society flourishes. With homosexuality, not so much. Look at your community. Look at your organizations. Rooted into just debauchery, promiscuity. And then you wonder, well, you sit there and you have women that have multiple different children with multiple different men, and you act like sluts, and you think it's so empowering. That's not what being empowered is. It's having the ability to know that you can do something, but you know it's wrong and you refuse to do it anyway. It's called having accountability and response. It's called having a fucking conscience. Same for men. Look, I've made mistakes. I will admit that. But it's nothing I'm going to try and manipulate into people thinking that this is actual empowerment. I can go out there and fuck pretty much any woman I want. Oink. Said Bill Cosby. Nah, I'm just kidding. But I'm an attractive man. I'm well off financially. I'm articulate. I'm passionate. I'm ambitious as hell. Those are very attractive commodities. I'm not afraid of these women. But the thing is, for me to act on all these things, and I've been wrong in the past. I admit that. I was wrong. I should not have been a man whore because it was giving away pieces of my energy and my mind. I should have done that. I realize that now, and it's kind of like age preaching to the youth. Men, don't do it. I regret it. I regret it. Don't get me wrong. The sex was nice. And folks, I'm telling you this right now. I've had sex with a lot of women. I had my play days. I'll admit it. I regret it. I really do. I wish I would have focused more on bettering myself for a good woman. There is nothing to be proud of that you fucked random women. Grant, I grew up in the military, guys. I know this. It's like, oh, whoa, who'd you fuck this time? I get it. But I wish you would have had someone there saying, don't do this. Don't just go out there and throw yourself because you cheapen yourself. It's kind of like that whole, if monkey has one banana valuable. If monkey has millions of banana not so valuable. And it's true. Your value is only as much as you value yourself in your inner peace. If you want to wait until marriage, I respect it. If you don't, fair enough. That's up to you. But there is nothing to be proud of for going out there and having numerous sex partners. There's just not. I don't want to say a victim, but I was brainwashed into thinking that because here's the hypocrisy of that. Men, we applaud it. Oh, you fucked that girl. You fucked all these women. Oh, you're such a player, bro. You're so cool. But if a woman does it, she's a slut. Man does it, he's cool.
You're damn right.
You're damn right. Get back in the kitchen, woman, and make me some fucking pie. I really wish I wouldn't have done it. Now, it is what it is, and all I can sit here and say is I shouldn't have done it, and I hope other people at least listen to this, because later on in life, I wish I wouldn't have done a lot of things. And I learned from it, but at the same token, it's like, man, you look at society and they encourage this. And these women, oh man, I sat there and I've had to learn how to date. I get it. You get married for so long and you forget how to date. And I think a lot of it is you have to learn as you come into yourself more and you understand who you are, you start to realize that initial attraction and then the need for sex should not be there. And that should not be the focus point. Yes, I can find a woman sexually attractive 100%, but you really got to get to know their personality to establish if you're a good fit. Because I'm telling you, that lust, it blinds you. You've got to see who they really are. Who do your personalities match? And I feel like in our society, we don't date like that anymore. Man, the sex is bomb. Oh, that's great. Don't get me wrong. I want good sex. But if that personality and you don't click, you can't communicate, you shouldn't be together. You're just wasting your time until the right person comes along. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that. I'm just putting it out there, man. Because I realize after a while, like I said, I've been with a lot of women, and it just turns into like, people ask, like, do you miss the single life? It's like, no, I don't. I do not miss, but I also, at the same token, will not settle down just for the sake of not being alone. I love myself enough to never do that to myself. Mm-hmm. But to sit there and have sex with random people, folks, it loses the appeal. And the sad thing is, once you've lost that appeal, it's gone forever, and you will no longer appreciate it again. That which we have too much of, we will no longer appreciate. And it is true. You could be drowning in all these women, but eventually the act of sex no longer possesses any value to you because you get it so much. And people can think that's cool. You can think that, like, who gives a fuck? Doesn't make you cool. It just means you found women that don't really value themselves enough to let any man blow a load in them. I mean, think about it. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm all over the place today. I'm all over the place.
Good for you, buddy.
Buttigieg, ironic Trump visited East Palestine after he deregulated. That's what Buttigieg says. Okay, look, Josh and I were talking about before the show. I love how liberals will have one talking point on their side in regards to saying the train thing is now Trump's fault. Oh yeah, that's what liberals are doing now. The deregulation, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't even from that. And by the way, if that's the case, why didn't Biden fix it? If that's the hill you want to die on, you feel free. Biden's been in office for what? Almost 3 years? So then you explain
like
to me.
An eternity.
Oh, yeah, it does feel like an eternity. So you explain to me. If Trump didn't fix it, Biden didn't either. But why are you blaming Trump? Uh-oh. It's not hard to dismantle and dissect and show how the liberal narrative is usually based in some type of deflection and a lie. It's not that hard. This is disgusting. This is politics. But now, as far as deregulation, now the libertarian comes out and says no, but at the same time, that company should be sued into oblivion, and they should have to pay for this, and they are as such. But this idea, the very optic of Ohio happening, and Biden didn't say shit about it until right before Trump went. Oh my God, that was just him trying to get ahead of the situation so Trump couldn't use it for all of the glory. Well, might as well as Obama 2.0, Biden. He had to get something. So then he starts talking about it right before Trump goes, after Trump makes the announcement. But folks, let's just push pause on this on both sides. Who ultimately suffers? It's the people. The people suffer. The back and forth between the left and the right, it's getting us nowhere. It's getting us nowhere. And it's a shame. It's a damn shame. I do appreciate that other Instagram account, Real News No Bullshit. It's real. They have a lot of following. They actually go out to these places and they interview people and they post the interviews.
Yeah.
And you get boots on the ground, real, like, good for them, man. I love individual journalists. Good for you. Like, people, I don't feel people appreciate them enough. Like, you're combating the bullshit narrative that these MSM organizations like Fox and CNN and the rest of them espouse daily. And you're giving us real world, firsthand interviews of people that are actually on the ground. And it's just like, good for you. Those are people that you should pay them. You should want to donate to these causes because they're giving you the real news for the most part. Granted, I'm sure could be some like selective interviews that they're giving. It's like, who's got it the worst? Let's go interview them for. And I would too. I mean, I would too. You want to show the worst, but
yeah, I guess.
People have a right to know. If people want more attention drawn to their cause, they 100% have a right to know, as they should. So I respect that. And I think independent journalism is eventually going to, quite honestly, if we want to combat mainstream lies, pull away from it and start relying more on individual journalists and paying them. Because then you're getting paid to do your job versus push a narrative. And sorry, go ahead.
These kids are coming out of college with these journalism degrees, and they're already indoctrinated
Yes.
on how to think and how to
Yes.
report. So it's not going to be
Well,
fair and balanced. It's not going to be actual. It's going to be
Yeah.
what benefits one side over the
Yes.
other. So and you
100%.
see it in all these stories. So
Yeah.
East Palestine, well, it's Trump's fault.
yeah.
Oh, he brought bad water. You know, he did
It's
this.
the train company. Also, the other thing is, how many of you have actually looked at the train tracks? Oh, there's some videos I saw floating around of the train tracks over there. Horrible condition. Horrible shape.
And I think it's
Who does
one of
that
the-
fall on?
I think it's one. If there's 1,000 train wrecks a year,
There are, yeah.
so I mean, you could literally
Yeah.
put one on every single day or
That's-
a couple every day.
I'm glad you said that because that worries me because
and
I
now
feel
it's
like now,
oh my god, now we have
Yes.
this train
Yes,
problem.
exactly. And
Do we? Or
we don't. It's not to that extent. Yeah, I pulled up the research the other day and it said we have over 1,000 train derailments per year. And now the media has become almost, if they do the same thing with race issues, they become hyper focused to where now it's every day.
Yeah.
Now, this is what the media is doing, folks. And I'm not saying that it's not something to be skeptical of or watch, but take it with a grain of salt because in a population of over 360 million motherfuckers covering the entire United States of America, there's a lot of bad shit that happens every day. My advice, turn off the news. Now, I love some of these other commentators out there. It's like, what's going on? America's been, this is sabotage. Is it? Train accidents? Is that sabotage?
Look, QAnon said.
But no, and that's the position the media has put us in because they get to lie and they get away with it. So now they create this perception that are we under attack from the inside or people? And truth be told, there are like for years, it's been a lot of accidents due to the poor nature of the train tracks too. Like, bro, these videos will blow your mind. And like we're seeing trains like on rickety train tracks that are kind of like literally up and down, not even bolted in all the way because of poor maintenance and care.
I grew up right next to a train track, and
same.
I saw 0 train derailments over my childhood. So, yeah, how many trains are like?
We have to take into account though.
Like it's is
we have to do a comparison. I don't
1,000
know.
out of how many trains are going.
Good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same token, though, it does make me say, or does make me think, just like with anything in America, when it pulls up a lot of traction, the media is really going to focus on just that because it's getting clicks, it's getting views, and then it creates this perception that might not be entirely rooted in truth and accuracy. But instead, I understand why people embrace that perception. But I'm just sitting there, I'm just kind of like, wait, we've already, but also put them in comparison. You know, rapes, murders, robberies in the entire America. It's like for example, gun issues or gun violence. Like we don't have a problem. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Any gun violence is a problem if it's unjustified, but not to the extent that the media paints it to be. Mm-hmm. With over 300-something million guns in America, and the top 10 killers of Americans isn't even guns, then it's clearly not that big of an issue as America wants you to think it is, or as the press does. Why? Because, folks, it gets clicks. It gets clicks. That's what it comes down to. The media crafts the narrative, and you make your assumption. I think subconsciously sometimes we have these messages seeded into our brains, for example, the train issue. Now that's all that's being reported. What's going on? There was an explosion in this factory with chickens and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, fair enough. Okay, let's just pump the brakes, cool down. But then you start doing side-by-side comparisons like, oh, wait, this existed for a very long time.
I don't know about the chicken.
Yeah, well, bad. But yeah, fair enough. That one's kind of like, wait a minute.
I'm not going to say that the train derailment in East Palestine wasn't terrible because there's obviously
I'm
a
not
ton
saying
of
that
chemicals that just.
Yeah, I'm not saying that at all.
I mean, looking at the plume of black smoke, I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to be like,
I feel bad that they can't get out. A lot of those dudes are poor. You see the interviews. They're like that one. I saw one interview, poor woman. She's in remission from cancer. Can't afford anything. And she's just like, now I got to deal with this. I'm like, damn. Well, good thing we're giving money to Ukraine, right? Because
another 10 billion. Did you see that?
No, don't tell me more. Really?
Yeah, they gave him another $10 billion.
Jesus. Why? What about giving that money to freaking Palestine, Ohio? America first. That's what Trump should be running on, and he is, and he's right. Fuck Ukraine. Honestly, part of me is like, I hope Russia just finishes it off. Get it over with so we can stop sending them money.
I gotta tell you, they're not making any friends.
They're not. They're really not. This Biden administration, this is what you get when you pander. When you care more about inclusivity, inclusion, and world issues.
If you want to buy a house right now, like the rate, it's like over 6%.
Yeah. Dude, my last quote was like 3 months ago, 6.7%.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Nobody can buy a house, but this jackass is sending billions and billions of dollars
Yep.
over to this corrupt country.
Yep.
And they're like, no. We looked into it. There's
I've had
all the money's accounted for.
I've had so much. I've had enough of this administration. It's just, my God. I've said it before. I will say it again, folks. Like when I said we needed 4 years of Biden, I didn't think it would get this bad. But here we are.
Oh God, it's awful.
Last story. China touts closeness with Russia, declares it will find peace in Ukraine. I think it's all for show. I know you and I talked about this. I think China's just saying this because they want to appear neutral. I don't think China's neutral. I really don't.
I think I don't know. I think something's there.
Think so?
That's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. And
China's
if they come in there and they do peace treaties and they get everybody to stop and negotiation tables and all that stuff, that's going to be very interesting to see what happens because the United States does not look good right now.
No, we do not. Well, to who exactly?
The rest of the world?
I don't think so.
You just blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
No, hold on. I think, bro, I got to disagree. I think the EU loves us. I think NATO loves us because we are spearheading the way. It's when we say EU and NATO, it's really just saying America. Yeah. It's really saying your money, folks. That's what it comes down to. So as far as loving us, I think for what we're doing in Ukraine, yes, I think the overwhelming majority of America, not America, but the world likes what we're doing.
I don't.
As far as our involvement in Ukraine, I think
maybe the other world leaders. I just don't know. I don't know.
I guess.
It's just not a bad. It's a bad situation.
Well, I think Putin is 100% spot on when he talks about Western values and ideology. I agree with him. And then, folks, that's the world we live in, and that's how bad progressive liberals are. That you're agreeing with people like Vladimir Putin, who murders motherfuckers, and you're saying he's not wrong. He's really not. But I know, according to some people on the right, that would make me a Putin apologist. A terrorist sympathizer. Rooting for Putin. I am rooting for him to freaking just destroy Ukraine. Get it over with. I'm tired of it. It's none of my business. I don't care. It's none of my business. Saw a video today. I posted my Telegram. You can join it. It's on my Instagram bio. Ukrainian soldiers surrounded last moments before they got killed. It's like, dude, they are losing. They are losing ground. Another big stronghold fell, I think, yesterday. And the media is not covering it. They're not going to touch it.
This guy's walking around with Biden, putting off the air raid sirens for show.
Folks, let me tell you, there is no way in hell they would ever let the president go into a war zone. That was 100% safe. They had that thing locked the fuck down. And Putin's also not going to attack it. They also said Russia was given forewarning that Biden will be at this location because if they do act and they attack the president, that is world war. Putin's not going to do that. Not to that extent. But when people say, I see all these people on the left, it's like, he's so brave. It's like the same as Hillary saying she dodged sniper fire in Kosovo when it wasn't even there. I remember when we were off, we landed on the runway under fire. And then you show videos of there like being a parade and like bands playing while she gets off the fucking C-130. It's like, what fire? What are you talking about? And, you know,
Biden has more trouble with the stairs.
He does.
Than anything else.
He fell up the stairs again on Air Force One. Oh my God, I posted this on Instagram. It's like, one dude's like, I think he recovered very well. It's like, are you really defending this idiot? You really defending this guy?
There's a video. It looks like he fell all the way from the top all the way down to the bottom.
I don't know if that was him or not. I think
did you see that video?
I did, but I think if that was him, he would have sustained a lot of serious injuries. As brittle as he is.
He's such an idiot.
They must have.
That guy's just completely gone.
I guarantee.
Like wandering off of the red carpet. Air raid siren. He probably just thought that was ringing in his ears. He's like, oh, what's going on?
And that was all for show. That was all for show. Because if there's an air raid siren, what do? Take cover. Were they taking cover?
No, I have no military training, but if I hear a siren, I'm going to be like, I'm ready for cover.
Oh shit! That doesn't mean the British are coming. Whole different thing there.
Yeah.
Take cover. So the fact that he's not, and there is no sense of emergency, it was all for optical show. So then the press is going to take this, and when Biden comes back, like, he was so brave. He charged up the hill into the machine gun nest and got Zelensky out by war bonds to support the democratic effort in Ukraine. Fuck out of here. Part of me wishes they kind of would have bombed him. It would have been great. I would have celebrated. Like, thanks, Putin. You're still our enemy, but thanks for getting rid of that piece of shit commie. Just saying.
Yeah.
What a position we're in now as Americans that I'm actually rooting for the ex-USSR person that fucking come in here and take our dude out. I'm sorry. I know it's not.
He's an awful human
horrible
being.
president, horrible human being, the whole family.
Just from the out of the gate, he's a terrible person.
Oh, crackhead Joe and Hunter.
Crackhead Joe.
Crackhead Joe and Hunter Biden. Good Lord. You can't beat it. I don't know. Bongino totally debunked that fake siren. What did he say? I'm sorry. It could have been an added audio effect. I don't know.
Now I heard his podcast about, and he was he was in the Secret Service.
Yeah.
So he was like, they have all these schematics and stuff of the area of if there's an air raid siren, then they go to these safe locations. So the fact that they were just casually strolling along means it was all for show, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. It was lockdown. They had the same thing. I got to witness John McCain coming over to Iraq. I wasn't there personally, but I was in theater at the time, and I heard about the planning that went into that. And there was a big hubbub because in the newspaper article, it shows McCain walking down through the streets of Baghdad with I think no body armor, some shit like that. And everybody's like, see, it's safe. It's like, that whole area was cordoned off and houses were searched upon searched, and they made sure it was safe. And then as soon as they left, it's kind of like squeegeeing water uphill. As soon as you stop squeegeeing, it all comes right back. I was like, it's all for show. It's optical and it's not real. Yeah. The same thing over there. To sit there and say that you're going to send, and folks, here's the thing. That's how stupid the common American is. Do you really think you're going to send your commander-in-chief into a hot zone where potentially he could get killed and throw the country into a catastrophic series of events during a fucking foreign conflict? Are you really that stupid? No, it was locked down. It was safe. There was nothing brave about that. You could have marched a 3-year-old, but then liberals would have tried to fuck it. That's the difference. Just saying. Just saying. But people on the left, they just sit there and they say, oh, he's so brave. No, he's not. It was locked down. Don't even get it twisted, folks.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he knew where he was.
Yeah,
he's probably just sitting on his couch, and then he gets off onto the airplane, falls down a little bit.
Yeah, I saw people reviewing the footage of him inspecting the troops over there, walking next to, I forget who it was. It wasn't Zelensky. And he has got this very unstable, very short-stepped walk. And all healthcare providers are saying it's because he has dementia. He is confused. He does not know where he's at. He's unsure. And I'm not trying to tag. Well, I am attacking. Fuck that guy. But they're saying like he's not there. He is not there. Look at his pupils. Look at the way he does certain addresses when he's kind of just, they call it, what was it, sundown syndrome? I forget when it starts to get later on the day, they start to quickly decline because they're so tired. Yeah. I forget what the actual term is. Excuse me for not knowing that. I had a debate with Bastiat about that, and he basically said, well, you're not a doctor. You don't know. It's like, yeah, I kind of do. It's like, it's looking at it. And it's like, yeah, he's displaying the signs and symptoms. But I do remember in certain addresses he gives, you see his eyes very wide versus them kind of squinting and him looking tired. Short timer syndrome. I forget what it's called. But yeah, it's the fucking truth.
Is that right?
No, it's not. Is it? Yeah, sundown syndrome. I think it is. Sundowners. Yeah, thank you. It's the truth. You see it. Yeah, again, if the symptoms are there, I mean, fuck. Yeah. We have Google, all this other stuff.
How do you think people figure out that their parents have Alzheimer's?
No.
Signals. Exactly what this guy
and
is.
You get healthcare professionals coming out there and giving testimony saying, yeah, he's showing all the symptoms.
Yeah.
And the same thing, and the thing that sucks is that it's compared to people on the left and liberals that did the same thing for Trump. He's mentally unwell. He's physically unfit, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, he took a test and he was fine. And they're going to say the same thing we'd say. It's like, yeah, that doctor was paid off.
You could listen to Trump and have a conversation with him and know that he's there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not like mumbling through words and like talking nonsense.
I do think he is getting a little bit more negative in his old age because these attacks on DeSantis have got to stop. They've got to stop. Every time he does it, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. What he did in Palestine, just keep doing that, man. Just keep doing that, and you will be loved again. That's all you have to do. But these attacks on DeSantis, it's uncalled for. And the fact that Kerry Lake, same thing, man, I've lost all respect for these people. I really had hopes, I had hopes. I thought she'd be a good one. She's done a lot of good, don't get me wrong, but I could never trust her. When you're in Trump's pocket, I can never trust you. Like DeSantis, I'm sorry. I got way more trust in DeSantis than I do Kerry Lake. That's just the way it is. Because DeSantis is not in Trump's pocket. That's perception.
Yeah, you can
That's
see
just
that
me.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, folks, that does it for today's episode of the All-American Savage Show podcast. We're trying to figure out what's going on with Spotify and some other stuff because apparently episodes are not uploading. This will be the last episode for probably about a week and a half. Like I said, heading overseas to go have some fun. Wait, would you consider South America overseas?
Do you have to cross over the ocean?
Yeah. Technically, no. Because, you could go through while we're flying. So I guess we are going to be flying over some seas. But I normally thought overseas would be like Europe, places like that. I don't know. I guess it is, yeah. Yeah. Chad, is it the same? We're going to Buenos Aires for about a week to go do a bunch of tango workshops, having some fun, living some life, living La Vida Loca, go do some tourism over there. I'll be back probably next week around the same time. If you can, go check out the allamericansavageshow.com website. We stream there every day. I'm going to tell you this right now. Do not fucking DM me. Stop DMing me about the show. I'm tired of listening to you people out there. Shut up. You know where it's at. And if it's not there, you know why. I don't account to anybody. No show today, but shut the fuck up. Stop. Shit's annoying. Again, allamericansavageshow.com. You can check every episode. It will be there, guaranteed. But as far as the other ones, we're trying to get this fixed. That's just the way it goes. But Jesus, like some of these people, this is why I do not like accepting people as friends on Facebook, because they suddenly feel the need to blow up your inbox with every thought they have in regards to you. I don't care. I don't fucking care. Stop doing it. Your opinions mean nothing to me. And half of you are just sucking my dick to get my attention. It's pathetic. Stop doing that. It's ridiculous. Have some self-respect, goddammit. Anyway, I'm such a prick. I don't care. You see where I'm coming from, though? Because then I can't engage. I don't have the time. I'm sorry. I just don't. But I'll admit I'm an asshole. So, all right, folks. Again, check us out. shellshockcbd.com. We love you. We appreciate you. Hit that share button. Hit the like. Leave a comment down below. You got anything to add, my man?
Yes. You guys have a... What's today, Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, have a great weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, all right.
It's here before you know it.
Oh.
All right, folks. Until next time, you stay savage, America.